Hello everyone, my name is Lucas and today I will be talking about particle physics. So first, let's understand what exactly is particle physics. It's basically a branch of physics that talks about particles, which is very simplistic but also correct. It talks about molecules and how the universe is made up. So in my presentation, I will talk about quarks, which is the elementary base for particle physics, theories, and the uses of particle physics. So first, quarks. We all have studied in science classes that there are atoms, electrons, protons, and neutrons. But inside protons and neutrons are also quarks, which are smaller particles. And they're separated into many types, but the two main types that I'm going to talk about are the up quarks and the down quarks. And these types explain almost everything we see and everything in our universe. So, this is a model of a potassium element. It has 19 electrons, 19 protons, and 20 neutrons. And as you can see in the middle, in the nucleus of this element is the neutrons and the protons. And so in each proton and neutron, there are two up quarks and one down quark for a proton, and there are two down quark and one up quark for a neutron. And this is essentially what we see in textbooks and what we can find online. But now let's dig a little bit deeper. Why do they act like this? So first, let's talk about the charges. So as you can see, an up charge is 2 out of 3 and a down charge is -1 out of 3. So a proton, we have learned, is a 1 charge, a positive charge, and an electron is a negative charge. And a neutron is a 0 charge, which means it's neutral. So if we do the calculations, 2 up quarks and 1 down quark, you get 3/3, which is 1 positive charge. And if we do the calculation for the neutron, we get 0 out of 3, which is the 0 charge. And next, let's talk about mass. So we can see that the mass of the proton is about 940 megavolts per c square. And as you can see, the mass of two up quarks is 4.6 and the mass of one down quark is 4.8. And when you do the calculation, it only sums up to 1% of the proton's mass. So the reason for why it's only 1% of the proton's mass is because the energy. If we use Einstein's formula, E equals mc squared, we can see that mass equals energy divided by c squared, which means that the reason why the mass is so small compared to the original mass is because those particles are rapidly vibrating, making the other 99% of the mass. So now let's talk a little bit simpler about the theories. So there are many theories about particle physics, because when you essentially break particles down, there are smaller particles inside them. And so the question is, what is the smallest particle? So I will give an example about the particle theory, which is the string theory. It says that particles are made of a lot of vibrating strings that create the energy in those particles. And these strings connect to each other, forming the particle that we all know today. So how do we actually collide these particles and find new discoveries? So they use a particle accelerator. It's not very clear, but there are multiple circles underground and rapidly accelerating different particles to make them faster. And in each time it goes through a circulation, there are magnets that accelerate these particles to near light speed to break them apart. And now, finally, the uses of particle physics. to fully understand more of the world and what the world is made of, to dig deeper into fields like biology and psychology, and to create new technologies to support human life. Thank you for listening.